Okay.
It's not Mowgli.
Are we getting that crunch, Adam? Is that, because that hash brown is just crispy. Is that any old hash brown there? It's a rustic hash brown.
It's a rustic hash brown. Not any old.
Yeah. Is that your shop ball? Of course not. This is a rustic hash brown.
Welcome back to another episode of What's the Story Hash Brown Glory. Here we are once more. Hello.
Again and again and again.
It's relentless.
It's what we do.
Keep on keeping on. Except when it's a podcast. And just to be clear, it's released every other week.
Yeah.
Every other week. There was a bit of confusion lately.
Fortnightly.
Fortnightly.
I think they call it.
I'm Fortnite, he's Lee. Fortnightly.
Nice work.
Yeah, I can use it subtly. I'm subtle, he's Lee.
Even the crowd's going.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Lee, I'm Way and he's Lee. Lee Way. I'll stop.
That's what I got pulled with.
How have I got to put up with you with your dour sense of humour? At least I laugh.
I do laugh. No, you shit jokes.
They're not shit. They're not shit.
Should we talk about this?
Yeah, please.
We got a delivery this week.
We did.
The Great Food Club Handbook 2025.
2025. There are some excellent eateries in there.
There is.
On the right in front,
this is the one. This is the one that we judged on, which was very good.
This is the one.
And we're here.
What is that? That looks like a hash brown.
That's Deli at 58.
Deli at 58. We've got a hash brown.
Come on,
guys. You know better than that.
Here's his full page as well. I like his, don't I? I like his.
Yeah, look, gave us a full page. We only paid for a quarter. See what we do for this brand? Leverage. Thanks, Matt. It was a good, basically good free brunch for a page. You know, he makes a living out of eating in these things just to get free meals.
But this thing's great. It's a great thing to showcase local thing, local
East Midlands and Cambridgeshire food scene, with everything from a brewery to a cafe to a blueberry maker.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
And it's just a nice thing to people to have, and you can come and collect one, or you can
jump on the app. There's an app, or the website as well. There's the app, and it's a little membership fee, and then you get stuff. But they send an email out every week as well. So, well worth going and getting yourself a copy of the Great Food Club.
And if you're ever looking to find a nice place to eat or go, jump onto there.
It's a good place to go.
100%.
It's a good place to go. Right then.
Should we get first guest?
Shall we get today's first? We've got another guest after this. All right, Graham. Let's get my first guest there, on.
Here we are.
No, I'm on the wrong page here. It's on my list of jokes in my phone. When I practice. Today's guest is an artist in residence of, well, nowhere. He's a nomad of sorts. Armed with his tablet and artistry skills, he's been working remotely, drawing and exploring for a while now, occasionally returning to the promised land of Leicester. He has now, however, found time to design our very own RKD t-shirt and design whilst in Bulgaria, which you can now find on our soon-to-be-launched coffee bag, amongst other projects. He's got a thing for monsters, but they're not scary monsters. They're lovely monsters. So please welcome the street artist, the monster maker, the Grubbinator, Sam Grubb!
That's a great intro, guys. Nice. Thank you very much.
How you doing?
It's the best thing I bring.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. When you said, I'm going to read this intro, I saw it was like a paragraph. I was like, this guy, he's
prepared. Scanning down.
Yeah. How are we doing, boys?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Welcome along, man.
Good, thank you.
You brought the good weather again, actually. The sun has come out. It was pouring when you arrived, and actually now it's good. So
terrible. I was on that bit, I don't know what the road is. There's a couple of roundabouts. It's national speed heading in, and it was just torrential, like grey, and then there's that bit where you have to take that swift left turn off, right? You know, it just stops up, and now it's bright sunshine, so here we are. When I was there, it was hammering it down.
Loving it.
So tell the people that don't know about you, Sam, who you are and what do you do?
You know what, I'm driving over, I'm thinking like, okay, cool, obviously you're going to say something like that, and I'm like, I don't know where to start. How far back do you want to go?
I don't know.
Right at the start. Let's go right at the start.
I would love to know when you realised that you could draw.
Oh man, young. Like, so do you remember when you were I was in Miss Jowett's class, so you're like 6 and 7, year 2. And big her up, shout her out. And, you know, like you have like maybe Friday afternoon, you can do what you want. You can play with a Meccano, you can
colour in,
yeah. Some kids are colouring in, I'm drawing, right? I'm thinking, okay, come on, that's cute. I want to draw Sonic the Hedgehog. Like
grow up, guys.
Right. And I was that kid when I went to secondary school where first week of the year was hellish for me because you draw on one person's planner, you've drawn everyone's planner, and people are like, oh, I want like the Hardy Boys, or they want Superman or Spider-Man or something. So I'm like 12 years old, just doing unpaid commissions like for Jack Deep. It's like, okay, cool, he wants Kane and Undertaker on his planner, then I've got to... So I was drawing in school. I was always, if I had free time, I'd always draw. And then I think when I was figuring out what I was going to do after GCSEs, that's when I thought about graphic design. I thought, it'd be nice to be paid to be an artist. I guess that's ultimately the goal, but graphic design, you can branch out, you can offer other services. So that was like the start of when I started to think graphic design and do my studies and stuff.
When you started drawing, did you have to focus and look at something, or could you just read it off in your mind and just go, right, that's...
Yeah, well, definitely the latter, but I'm not... Like, say, for example, if I had to draw this lamp realistically, I think I'd struggle without looking at it. And I think when I went on to my studies, that was kind of hard, like punching that into yourself. Once you're stuck in your ways, and obviously my style's a bit more cartoony and I'll just imagine something and draw it. Whereas like we're doing life drawing and I felt like a fish out of water. There's some people who were really good at life drawing and they could just easily catch the form of something. Whereas for me, it's like I really had to bash through that. And I think when I was like maybe 16, 17, that's when I learned to get better at that. But it's like anything, you get rusty if you don't do it. And then recently I had a commission where I had to do some life drawing for it, which I've not done in like 10 years or something. Sure. So it was like, damn, okay, here we go. But yeah, I think more the latter than the former.
So if someone comes and asks you to do like a life drawing, would you go, oh no, sorry, my style is kind of cartoon, or do you go, no, I'll do it. I'll do anything.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe these next 10 years or the part that I'm at right now, it's like this stuff that I did for you guys. I still want it to look like something that I did. Like I'm so bored of drawing the clock tower or the Space Center or the King Power Stadium. I've 60 million billion times. And I kind of want to, I think I look at other artists who are aspire to be more like, and they've got a style or like a character or a motif or something that is like people go to them because they do that stuff, right? Problem is when I don't get to choose to fence it in too much. So I think it's about trying to like, say like the monsters thing, for example, when I started drawing the monsters, like I didn't know with you guys, you were like, obviously that's what we want. We want to incorporate that.
Definitely wanted a monster.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm trying to say. Whereas I think, it's nice to pick and choose. I'm not the best with portraiture. So I think I've got a lot of starving artist friends who would do a better portrait than me. And there'd be a lot less kind of thinking and legwork on their part, because they're a portrait artist. Yeah. So I'd gladly hand it off. I have jobs all the time where there's someone who might be better than me and do a better job. I appreciate when people want me to draw it, but portraiture is not really my strong suit. Hence the monsters and the sort of
We have the same
cartoony
thing
stuff.
with like afternoon teas. People come to us afternoon teas like, no, not us. Go and find someone else.
Yeah,
you can still. It's
That's
quite
really
strong.
cool. Yeah,
it's a strong move
I
to
never
be
thought in a food world, obviously, and like a catering world, you're gonna have the same sort of.
We kind of have our style, and we want to be true to ourselves and keep to that kind of style and not kind of be jack of all trades in a way. Kind of thing. And it's good that like you said, we went to you because of
that's
the
really
style,
cool.
the style that you have, and we see your monster and we're like.
And how much easier does that make things? Like I don't know if you guys, I know you've done some catering in the past, but I don't know if Rustic caters events or whatever.
We do,
But when people know what Rustic deliver, okay, cool, we want this stuff. How much easier is it to flourish?
Just to be your own.
Yeah. So
it's way easier to be yourself because you're the best at it.
And that, well, that's it, right? And I think that's the creative journey, whether it's food or you're drawing stuff or whatever. It's trying to like ring fence and get to that thing where it's like, cool, this is what you're known for. This is what people come to you for. And then, onto where I want to be one of those old artists who just wears weird trousers and that, just like one of them. Oh, he's an artist.
Totally.
Painting the side of a building or something, big green trousers on.
A beret on.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Mad, like hanging, balding hair behind like whatever. No one cares. I'm an artist. That's the dream. But for now, we've got to send emails and stuff like that.
Still look a little bit
modern.
Yeah. It is very modern though, because it is very modern, your style. And I guess it is... It's what people want right now, and I guess that will change over time because look at any artist, whatever they do, whether it's music, food, or art itself. Like you change your style.
It comes in waves. For sure.
Look at David Bowie. There's a great example of like reinventing yourself over time and doing different things, and people still loving it, but it's different thing.
And trying to stay relevant, right? I feel so. Recently, I had to do this presentation about. Really loose. It was just a 15-20 minute presentation about something in art that I loved, and I chose to speak about graffiti and street art and stuff, and stick to what I know. Like you say, be yourself. And while I'm doing it, I'm kind of looking at all these guys, and their names that just the early New York 70s guys, and they went on and worked with Louis Vuitton or Audi or Hennessy or whatever. And they're all kind of, you can see the roots of their artistic style. And even though it's like digital art or new mediums or new places for the art or whatever, you could still see those roots from when they were in the 70s. And now they, you know, they're super old dudes. Maybe they were teenagers then, but you can still see the elements of how they got there, but stayed like relevant with stayed with the times kind of. I guess it's going to be the same with food, right? You know how it is in catering, things change, new things come into fashion.
Yeah, quite. Yeah.
Go out of fashion.
All the time.
But yeah, it is. I guess it's modern. And especially like I'm trying to embrace it. I think it's a very old school medium, like being an artist. I pick up a pen and I draw with it. It's kind of like hands-on, right? But I think, you know, trying to embrace like digital tools and happy accidents and just like exploring new ground. I think as a person, I tend to stay stuck in my ways and I stick to what I know with stuff. So it's trying to break out of that and make something exciting happen.
Because obviously you've done your YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
You've gone around South America and...
I was in Mexico. I weren't in South America, but yeah. Started in Mexico. But yeah, it's...
Because I think you did a episode on us. When
yeah,
you were
right. Yeah. When
I watched that.
Yeah.
It was so interesting.
Nice
how you drew on your iPad, and it was just like, right, I'm going to take a picture of that. I'm going to go over, and then you just literally every little detail you was going over and over, wiping, clearing. Yeah,
I wanted it to be a bit of a slog for that one. I wanted it to look like, wow, a piece of art. You know what I mean, rather than something graphic. But yeah, it's tough because for me, I'm so used to seeing that. But then I was realizing that when I post kind of longer form content or process stuff, you know, you think you get stuck scrolling on your phone, it's just a bloke bending tubes, but you're like, how's he bending these fucking tubes? I've got to watch this video, right? And I'm thinking, okay, cool. So people like the process art, and I'll do like some live art events and stuff, maybe somewhere like this, and people having a coffee and they're sat watching, you know, this guy's working away at his thing. So I'm thinking, cool, how can I do that? And then when I've kind of moved to try and leave the UK and go traveling and stuff, people are saying to me, you should be recording, you should be vlogging, you should be like, you know, doing this, but everyone's busy, right? I've not got time to turn into a full-time YouTuber. So I'm doing this stuff and I'm thinking about a bit of a content grind. I need to like not let my feed get dormant, and especially being an artist, it's all visual. I need to just like post what I'm doing and draw more, and not just watch another episode of this show, like actually draw stuff and be an artist and do something. And then I'm thinking, cool, so maybe there's a thing where I had this light bulb moment. I was like, cool, if I do like half traveling stuff, just the days I'm having, and then the other half is like me drawing. I've got this brief for these two guys from Rustic. They've got this wicked deli in Mount Sorrel. I'm going to make it look like this other thing. They said they want that incorporated, and just do like a little time lapse, kind of me talking a bit about the process. Maybe it's a little entry level or goes over some people's heads who have got some entry level skills. Maybe it's a bit basic or whatever, but I think it's kind of cool. Like I try not to take for granted that when I'm seeing people do their job really simply something they've done 1,000 times, I'm sure there's ways, like when you were making this coffee, I'm watching you do it. I can't do that. So it's interesting for me. For you, it's just you're having a conversation and doing it in your sleep. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to get that balance with it, but it's quite fun because I'm looking back now and like I've been vlogging for about a year. I was in Mexico this time last year. My friend Brad flew over. He was in Miami, came out to Mexico, met me. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? We're just chilling on the beach on the other side of the world. It was wicked. And he vlogs and does a little bit. So I was like, I had this idea. I was like, cool, like, it's going to be a big enough, I can attribute it to work and career development if I kind of bring the two together. And I thought there's going to be 1 million people drawing on YouTube. There's going to be a billion people traveling on YouTube and saying, oh, I had these really good tacos and whatever else. But I thought maybe I'll find a little niche in the middle. Like how many people are going to be new kind of digital nomads working out how life visas work on a rope, eating, hotel, Airbnb, whatever. And then half like drawing. I've got this t-shirt for Rustic that I'm going to work on today, and candid stuff. Like obviously I've come and stuck a few times and I'll stick that in the videos, just see how the day pans out. And I think it's more fun like that rather than trying to keep it polished and like super formulaic. But yeah, so it's been
I think people want the real though. They don't want
1,000,000%. Yeah, 1,000,000%. You know, it's so hard. It's like a telephone voice. Like, and I'm doing it now. I can't help when there's a camera on to be a little bit more like, oh, do you know what I mean? So it's trying to break out of that. It's fucking annoying. But so I'm watching like even the first episodes back, which is, you know, like I said, I started in Mexico. I wanted to get like a bank of 10 or 12 or something behind me before I tried to commit to a weekly grind, which looking back now, 30-ish episodes in, was too much. I wasn't able to maintain the promotion as well and making the shorts and just staying on top of the promo for it. The whole kind of grind and the whole point of it, I'm kind of posting the artwork out, then I've got to upload a next episode that's coming out that I filmed 6 weeks ago or whatever. So now I'm like, cool, let me take my foot off the gas a little bit, give each one a bit more, give the people a bit more time. Is it me just fucking eating tacos and pissing around? No one gives a shit. So it's like, no one's going to commit to watching that every single week. Whereas this last video I done was I was in Romania, and I think it's like the 3rd most viewed one. Your guys is like 3rd or 4th or something, so it's up there.
We're kind of a big deal, Sam.
kind of a big deal. Bringing a lot of casuals. But so I'm figuring it out, and I made my peace that I'm never going to be Mr. Beast. I'm never going to make millions off YouTube, because like I said, there's a billion people at it. A lot of people who can dedicate a lot more resources and time to it than I can. But I think if I meet clients and it helps kind of go behind the curtain on,
but it'll bring content creation, content marketing will bring you opportunities.
100%. Yeah,
that's why we're doing this
for sure. Yeah.
Hi BBC, we're Tom and Lee.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's just baby steps into that world, and it's the formula of the episodes has kind of stayed the same the whole time, which I like, because I want it to fit around my day. I don't ever want to have to step out of my groove and think, I'm doing the YouTuber thing today. I could just stick to the script. It's a Saturday. I've got the deadline with you guys. I've got to go do it. I'm going to that football match tonight. I'll just take the GoPro in there.
You just want to be as natural as possible.
Yeah, right.
Because as soon as you start to kind of angle it around that, it'll start to feel forced.
Yeah, for real, yeah. And
I think it's also quite liberating for people as well to know that they can do it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's a ballsy move going, I'm going to give up my job. Well, it's not giving my job, but ask my boss if I can go.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Just work remotely wherever the fuck I like.
Yeah.
I'll still keep up with the workload. I'm going to go and piss off to Mexico for 10 weeks, wherever it might be.
You know what?
That's stuff. People don't realise that you can do this, but you're the master of your own destiny.
Well, this is it, yeah. And for me, I kind of didn't think about it at the time. I've travelled, I've been to a few places or whatever, but I've always lived in Leicester my whole life. I went to De Montfort University, and then I got my graduate job in Leicester. And I always thought it was odd. My dad was from Scotland, kind of made his way south. My mum had always lived in Leicester, and I always thought, that's crazy. Your whole life, you just spent it just there in Leicester. I love Leicester, but it is what it is, And then so I think that's the thing when I'm telling people, like, cool, I've not got a house, I've not got a dog, I've not got a girlfriend, there's no kind of, and I've landed with this remote job out of the blue, obviously due to COVID. I was kind of thinking I've got to do it. And the main thing that people were saying was, it's a ballsy move, or it's brave or whatever. And I hadn't even really thought about it. I just thought, man, if I don't do it, I might go. The worst thing is I've sold my car, gave up my old apartment, and I might go for 3 months and be like, it's not for me. I miss my mum. I'm just going to come back.
Yeah.
But, I love it, man. It's a good time. But yeah, it's cool.
That's the worst that can. What's the worst that can happen? Like,
at least
people
you try.
are scared. At least
you try.
There's a flight home.
Yeah, that's it.
Leave enough money in a pot in your bank account.
Yeah,
so
and what a privileged position. Like a lot of people, they have to go to new countries where they're like, cool, we're here, no, got to figure out school and whatever else. But yeah, no, it's been a blast. And the day job, which is a design job as well, they're sweet with it. I feel a lot more kind of focus. I can give them a better version of myself. I'm not like nipping out at 4 p.m. because I've got so-and-so's birthday dinner or whatever. I'm just kicking it in the Airbnb with a, what do they call it? A designated workspace and AC and nice Wi-Fi and whatever. So it's like, it's all swinging. It's been good. It's been about 2 years. I've been doing the vlogs for, like I say, about a year or whatever. But yeah, it's good fun. It's nice. It's long enough now that I can look back at some early episodes. I'm sure like you guys with this, and you could be like, bloody hell, look at us there. That seems a long time ago. You're cutting your teeth with it a bit or whatever. So yeah, it's wicked. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I do wish we had the budget and inclination to have someone that could literally, this is where we spend the budget, but we've got someone following us around, just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Talking to the camera, like, here would be it. Right from the start as well would have been an absolutely amazing story.
Yeah, because, right.
Like what we turned this place from to now, today, and the journey we've gone on since then, like ups, downs, peaks, troughs, brilliant.
And it passes you by, don't it? It's like, it's just a month ago all of a sudden because you're in the hamster wheel.
And it would have been, and it would, and if we open another place, I think we should probably invest and get like that whole document,
capture it,
because I think that it's got a real interesting story and narrative to go forward.
Because I think the story that we started with, people kind of that come in recently or new people to Rustic in the last year won't know what this was before. No. Only the people right at the start, really. This was a derelict building, and they don't know that it was basically a shithole. You know what I mean?
I was listening on another pod, and you said, I think it was the one where you were answering listener questions, and you were saying that a piece of advice to someone going into hospitality was to look for a derelict plot rather than something that used to be the old so-and-so place. I thought that's such a good point.
Feel like, and
that's really gemmy because it does just put pressure on, right? Whereas if you're like, Rustic's opening on Friday, come down. That's like, oh my God, what's this exciting place?
Yeah. I think a prerequisite for us is definitely to have something that hasn't got a pre-existing reputation.
Okay, right.
So let's say
and you're
we
talking
took over
literally
Domino's
the
building. That's a good example without putting any independent down.
Big up Domino's. Other pizzas available, right?
Yeah,
just
the
cover all bases.
They are shit. They are. Like you go in there and it's like, oh, it's the old Domino's. It's the old Domino's building, yeah, but the pizza's still shit or whatever. Like, it just got that tainted.
There's a
it's that from the off, you're fighting perceptions straight off.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not the old people. We're not the old people. We're trying to make something
not under
good.
new management.
Yeah, exactly. We're not under new management.
It's probably the same even if you're a hotel, right? The same thing applies. It used to be the old travel lodge, and as three move in there. As four, do you fancy it, Adam? As the four of us go move in, set up a hotel.
Hey, talk about your terabytes there as well.
Oh, yeah. Was that can I go behind the curtain? Do it. So we're doing this. They're saying, we filmed the last episode and we talk about their new little puppies, and they're saying, there's a bit of dog chat going. So what can we chat about just to break this episode in? And then we're saying, we'll do some Inception stuff, talking about the dogs. So we talk about talking about the dogs. And then me and Adam get distracted. We're talking memory cards and we're talking cameras and this, that, the other.
It was very sexual.
Nice bit of terabyte chat, nice bit of hard drive. Are you using cloud solutions there? We're talking about that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Whilst we're on the subject of Adam, I think it's about time we gave Elevate a little plug. So if you're looking for a podcast, anyone out there, give Adam a little nudge. Okay. There you go. There's some free advertising. Right. You might have to do his questionable dress sense and attitude to life, but at Elevate Studios, is that right?
The end product is A1.
The product's great. The dress,
the guy himself. Well,
it's a sparkly waistcoat.
Most of the time.
The staff, yeah.
It's a sparkly waistcoat. There's no need for it.
Right.
Lifestyle, darling.
Get on him. The product's A1. Get on him.
There we go. So Elevate Studios, if you'd like to have a look. And basically, we're his best customer. So,
nice.
You just look at us when you look at his page anyway.
Your words or
no, we say that all the time. We always say that. Every day we ring him up.
Yeah, right.
My friend Howard is a big fan of street art. He works, he volunteers at Bring the Paint. He's probably brought people next to you whilst you were doing your thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I asked him, because he's, in my opinion, the best educated person to ask questions.
Yeah. So I'm that person in a lot of people's phone books, so I understand his position.
So, question number one from him was, when are you going to come and paint his garage door?
Oh, hey, look, that's nice, isn't it? Hey, look at that, and it all works.
See, you're in content, you're getting opportunities.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think he feels like it might be for free, but...
where is he?
Rearsby.
Okay, we'll see if we make it out to him. That'd be a nice episode.
That would be a good episode, wouldn't it? And if you don't ask, you don't get as well. It, yeah. So when he comes to do mine.
Yeah, right. Well, after I do his.
Loads of garage doors in Rearsby.
It's down the road. Yeah, it's down the road. Yeah, we'll get to it.
I'm having mine replaced anyway, so
it's
not so good. How do you feel about the transient nature of street art?
As in... Are you thinking he means
because it gets painted over, I imagine.
Okay, right, yeah, interesting. That's a good question, yeah. So Bring the Paint is, for those people listening who don't know, is a big, huge street art festival that comes to Leicester. And
when is it?
It's every few years, couple of years. So I don't know if they're doing next year. It might be the year after, but it's always around February.
Okay.
So it's not. Yeah, it's obviously not now. It's either next year or the year after, but they've not put anything out yet.
Okay.
But it's always February. And there's kind of go the long way around this. Stay with me, right? So there's guys in Leicester who are really good graffiti writers, like kings. They're coveted. People love their art and understand their reputation. And between those guys, they managed to kind of pick up the phone book and say to a bunch of like really worldly, mad, top level artists, do you want to come and paint this festival? And everyone said, yes, it's a jolly up basically. We'll pay for the flight. We'll get your hotels. Come, there's a big drink up this night, whatever. And everyone's on cherry pickers painting these huge murals that people from Leicester will know in the cultural quarter and whatever. And then some local artists like myself get to go along. So when they've done the first festival, it just changed the landscape of the city. Everything looks amazing. And then when it comes to the second festival a few years later, obviously, you know what it's like. Imagine you guys are Rustic and you get this amazing free mural on the side of your building. You might want to hang on to it. You might want to spruce it up. But you've already had that relationship building there, right? So the guys, they had this fork in the road. Shall we secure new plots or shall we go over stuff that we did, right? And kind of when they're thinking about that, it's almost a philosophical question about like, what is graffiti? What is street art? What's the nature of what we're doing, right? And I think it is transient. It does get painted over, right? That is part of the culture. Ground level to if you're just tagging on a green box to like the most incredible mural that's ever been on the side of a building. So I kind of like it. At that time, I never really thought about the question, but I thought, wow, yeah, that's quite profound. It does come and go. And I've got tags that I put up when I was 12 years old, 13 years old that are still there on derelict buildings and stuff.
I suppose it's nice in both ways. But it's nice in both ways. You go, oh, that's like real nostalgic hit going, oh, I remember when I did that. Yeah. But then there's also, I need to freshen that up.
One for me that I always thought about was that the New Parks Community Centre there, the fire station. There was Jessica Ennis for the Olympics.
I like that.
And now
that's still relatively new
City.
To me. Have they really? I've not seen the new thing, right?
Leicester City legends, I think.
Right, yeah. Because even that Jessica Ennis one, that wasn't always there, was it? That was like 2010 maybe?
Yeah. It might be for the Olympics.
Yeah, 2012. Yeah, but I think it's part of the culture, and I never... Ashes to ashes, you know, so you get your photo if something gets painted over, and it's kind of becomes part of the lore of the painting sometimes. So whilst my first solo trip was after I was in America with this company that I worked for during the day doing some, we had like a conference thing. It's an American company. And then I was like, cool, while I'm here, I want to like take a different flight home and we'll expense it, we'll make it work. But I wanted to stop by LA. I was thought, cool, I'll go to LA. Never been there. And I wanted to paint on Venice Beach. If you remember on Tony Hawk's 2, the Venice Beach level with all the graffiti, right? And I just thought maybe that was like one of the early things that I remembered to do with graffiti. Gone there, painted. It was an awesome day, like in the sunshine, visited the graffiti shop, tunes on, beers out, whatever, having a good time. And there's some SA kind of cholo dude came over and he wanted a bit of beef or whatever. He's saying, what are you doing painting here? Went to paint over me. I was saying, look, it wasn't actually a good day. It was a really stressful day, right? It was long. I was stranded in Skid Row with no Wi-Fi, no signal. They wouldn't let me connect to the shop Wi-Fi. Had to walk to a McDonald's in Skid Row to try jump on their Wi-Fi. There's no Wi-Fi at the McDonald's in Skid Row. There'll be 100 punters outside. Obviously, it's Skid Row. Had to walk, got signal, got the Uber. I got to the wall late. So I couldn't paint this beautiful masterpiece I wanted to paint. This guy comes over and he wants to have a problem. I just thought, mate, not today. I had to tell him it's not today. It's not happening. And he's looked at me and sort of thought, okay, cool. I'll go try it with someone else or whatever. Beautiful. Put my music back on, carry on drinking beer, carry on painting. And then the next day was a much better day. I woke up, rented a little bike, and I'm just having a bike ride along the beach or whatever. And I seen it was all dogged out, painted over, you know, with this like really kind of low level, like a, you know, some kind of turf mark or whatever, which is part of graffiti culture. But I got my photo the day before, and now when I'm sat here on this podcast with you two guys telling you this story, it's part of the lore of that painting, you know. I've had 100 paintings that are painted and they stay there for a while till someone goes over it. So I love the transient nature of graffiti. I think it's part of what graffiti is, you know.
Expertly answered. Do you see that? So it came back. It's like a proper fucking. It's like a comedian. We know they leave that hook, and then they come back and like about that dog.
Yeah, right. We're back to it. Yeah. Well, there we go. Long answer, waffling, but you understand.
No, it's good.
There's a tunnel in London, isn't there?
You're talking Brick Lane, maybe?
Not Brick Lane. I don't know, Leek Street Arches or something like that near Waterloo.
Right.
There's a tunnel that gets basically painted over every single night.
Really? Right. Oh, okay.
Artists,
right.
Artists go in every night and spray paint.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, London's just battered and constantly. And that's part of the fun of like where I'm traveling around, because I love graffiti. I love street art. A lot of the stuff, like say this garage door, proverbial garage door, it will be spray painted. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know. And so when I'm going to these cities, some of them they're just battered with graffiti, and there's a different culture there. You know, people at late night, it's more maybe a mind your business culture than we have in Britain. And then other countries, like when I was in some Muslim countries, you just don't see that stuff at all, because they're going to have appropriate punishments for petty crime and stuff like that, you know. So, but yeah, it's really interesting. And like Athens, for example, you know, when I was there for a couple of months, and I'd see graffiti writers at night. You know, it's just part of the landscape. If you're out getting a kebab and walking around the square when it's cooled down a bit and an ice cream and whatever, you're going to see signs of inner city graffiti. And I think just because of the population in London, I'd imagine that's the case. I remember some glorious times like that in Leicester, but they're maybe a thing of the past now. It's legitimized a little bit with Bring the Paint, which is good because it's money in all the boys' pockets, and there's a lot of work going for people like me who run workshops or walking tours or talk about graffiti or whatever. But it's kind of two sides to the coin. You can't have one without the other, you know. But yeah, I've heard about the tunnel you're talking about. Yeah.
Nice.
He's going to the phone.
Next question.
Question 2. Can you do the upstairs bathroom as well?
No, I think it's from the garage door.
Yeah.
He has a lot of like, you know, like prints and stuff from Leicester artists.
Right.
There's a guy, he had a Doug Hyde print.
Right, okay.
That had faded.
Right.
And he got, I don't know the name of the artist. He'll tell me. He'll probably comment in the thing so Sam can see.
Sure.
And it was, and he had him go over it in his own style.
Oh, cool.
So it was actually like Doug Hyde overlaid with Sam Grubb, for example.
Right,
So that's quite fun.
That's
like,
cool,
turn those cute little dogs into monsters.
That's nice,
kind of idea.
I like doing stuff like that, like drawing on the photos or like, you know, with your building, it's like the actual building, but with some illustration. It's a cool vibe,
Well, that kind of leads into this one.
Here we go.
What is his greatest art legacy to date?
Greatest art legacy?
I guess with the transient nature, there is one, but it's not one.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think, because there's been a couple of things along the way where you know what it's like when you're doing stuff and you look back, you think, wow, that was a lot of work. That was a really cool time. And
I love your beer cans that you do.
Oh man, I love those beer cans. Yeah, and big up, shout out Jay at Mill Hill. He's the coolest guy on earth, man. He's a dream client. He's just tells me, here's the copy, this is the text that's going on the can. We kind of figured out the art style early doors and rolled out a bunch of them, and he just leaves it to me. His girlfriend writes his wife, his partner writes the briefs, and she'll just send over 4, 5, 6 lines of copy or whatever. But they travel so far and wide, and there'll be things like the Kasabian show on Vicky Park, big like homecoming show, whatever. He secures the contract. They're the beers, and I'm seeing like all these photos. You take it for, it's like the Rustic t-shirts. I'm sure when you see people wearing one, you're like, cool, that's our t-shirt, And like the beers, they just travel far and wide. And the irony is, I'm not a beer drinker. If it's pints, I'm a cider man. But we've all got that liquor, whether it's tequila or vodka or whatever, that we did too much of when we were 15, 16. And I had my mum and dad's wedding anniversary. It was Carlin, and I've not drank a pint of beer since I was like...
Because you were drinking Carlin.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a big issue.
So we can turn back onto it. But yeah, I think... the beer cans was awesome. That was a great time. And like, I love how kind of we'll do them in groups of 3. So it just pops up every 6 months or so and says, I've got 3 more that we're canning and commissioning. And now we've got about 15 of them, and they're a perfect stocking filler, perfect Secret Santa. Whenever I put them on a stall, like the Christmas fair that I did with you guys, we sell a few of them. So yeah, it's awesome. And I've got one of each one that has horribly out of date beer inside in a little box in an upstairs bedroom at my mum's house. And I'm scared to death that one of them is just going to split one day and she's going to go crazy. So
just pour it out. Still got the artwork.
I'm going to need the drink. She's going to go mad. Yeah, pour it out. People have made candle holders out of them and all sorts of stuff like that. So they're really cool. You can steam the labels off some of them that weren't, some of them were directly printed.
Howard's a label collector, actually.
Is he
I
really?
Bet he got them because he every time I have like although you have to drink it yourself, you can't get someone else's.
Right,
He uses a label.
Oh, what, like specifically craft beers?
Craft beers, I think.
Interesting. Okay, all right. I never.
When you do his garage, take some beers from him.
Well, I'm thinking the whole time, if he's got this, if he's commissioning this thing where it's drew back over the top and he's got prints on this guy, he can pay for the garage. We'll sort it out. Yeah. You dropped him in it now.
You know what? I reckon he'd be up for it. Then.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Good price.
If you could collab with anyone out there, who would it be?
Wow, great question. Do you know what I was thinking when I got the little PDF with some notes saying, bring this, bring that, whatever, we'll do whatever. I was thinking I can't really do like an art history quiz. I'm writing these questions for you guys and I'm thinking I don't know anything about art history. Like I really wasn't a typical art student or whatever. And I kind of like when it comes to collaborating with artists, I don't know about all these artists or whatever. So I follow like some artists I like on Instagram, but I think it'd probably have to be someone in maybe like the street art world or a graffiti guy or whatever. Collaborating with one artist, who would it be? It's hard. Yeah, I really don't know.
What are you thinking? Who would it be for you, food-wise?
Oh, that's a good question.
To collab with?
Yeah.
Let Gordon Ramsay shout in your face.
It wouldn't be Gordon. It wouldn't be Gordon for either of us.
Tom Kerridge.
You're going to have to fill me in on who these people are.
Tom
as well.
Kerridge. He basically runs Marlow. He
runs Marlow.
He does, doesn't he? He's the only guy with a Too Much in Style pub in the country.
Okay, cool.
So, but he does really like this cooking's unbelievable.
So what kind of is it, like pub classics elevated beyond
It's
words?
proper British classic.
Yeah, right. Wow.
He just gets it. Any place that he goes in, he gets the vibe right. He gets everything right. Everything about it. It's just bob on, and he can do any style. He can do his classic French cooking, but he goes to the more humble kind of pub, and it still feels like a pub.
Yeah,
but you're in
right.
like a Too Much in Style.
That's really cool. What a nice
kind of
line
thing.
to toe. Yeah, to
It's
live
just
in both
unbelievable.
worlds. Yeah, wow.
I'd
think him.
I'd go for Yo Tomato for sure. I'd go for Tomato I've always loved that.
Who's this guy?
So he does like Middle Eastern food. He's based in London. He's from Israel.
Okay, yeah.
And he has like this whole development kitchen now, and he's got restaurants in. He's actually one in Geneva now.
He's got restaurants all over the world now.
but mainly in London.
Right.
And the delis really that they eat
Yeah.
at. And they've got these beautiful salads, and they've got these slow cooked or even fast cooked meats, like actually, and then a beautiful patisserie as well.
Yeah, wow.
They've just got cool flavors going on, like I don't really like rose, but things like rose and orange, or
Yeah, sure,
almond
yeah.
and chocolate.
Breaking new ground.
His,
just different edges on stuff that make things just that little bit more interesting. I'm not like wacky flavors, but just make that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just twist it up a little bit. Yeah,
his
make
delis is
unique.
like so clean as well. Like you
white.
have a all white, and then the big bowls of salad that they'll serve out for people,
That's
and it's
awesome,
just
yeah.
unbelievable.
You just pay for it by weight.
Interesting.
So it's not like a box. You like 250
And is
grams
it
of
like
this.
Middle Eastern food he's making?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Nice.
It's so good.
I think I'd probably like that. I love
Yeah.
Middle Eastern food. It's probably my favourite. Yeah, I think thinking artist then maybe. I'm thinking rather than like paint a canvas back to back with someone and talk about what we've been watching on TV, I'd love to do like a real mad graffiti mission with some cool artists that I've been influenced by. So there's this really interesting crew who painted for Bring the Paint, and they're One Up is the name of the crew, One United Power. And the idea is that we all have the same initiative in graffiti. It's fame to get up, to have a brand name that rings bells. Imagine you wrote the word Rustic above a bridge on the way out of town. People are going to...
I was looking at that bridge before, and I was like,
There you go,
it'll be
this bridge
wicked.
here, yeah.
It'll be wicked if
Rustic
you
bridge.
spoke to Tarmac and got
could commission something like that, right?
for you
know?
and a few of your mates just to absolutely make that bridge into
Yeah, sure.
wicked.
Well, let me speak to Graphwork, the guys who organise Bring the Paint. They write bids and they speak to local councils and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe
They're
I
looking
could,
for
yeah, for
the
sure.
surface.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm thinking it would probably be a mad mission. And this One Up there, the coolest thing is there's members of the crew who have not met. It's dudes from France, Belgium, Germany, Holland, wherever. And for example, when they come to paint at Bring the Paint, the festival in Leicester, they just came with their little balaclavas and their sunglasses on. And it's one dude from Italy and a guy from Poland who had never met. But they all share like a kind of similar style. And in terms of like hardcore, illegal train writing graffiti and stuff like that, they're just kind of world leaders. They're up there. They do these insane things where they recently put out a promo where it's filmed on a drone and the drone's flying. Hey, Adam, get on this, talking drone talk.
Get the tissues out.
And this drone's flying around the city and this guy's painting like on they're abseiling down a building and painting on the side, and then goes through the subway and they're painting a train and then back up overground and they're doing a trackside that runs next to the train line. And I think, there's a couple of crews like WFC from Poland who have this just like do or die. We go, we do it. It's like a mission. You're in and out kind of thing. And that for me would be way more exciting than painting with any canvas artist or whatever.
What's the process of graffiti art? It's like, do you outline it? Is it just literally just spray and we'll go, and you have that vision in your head, or do you have something drawn and you go, right?
Yeah, it depends how long you've got. I mean, it varies. If you were the most rounded graffiti artist in the world and you'd lived in the culture for years and you were a 10 across the board or whatever, you'd kind of have something for everything. So say, for example, if there was a wall here that was a nice spot, you're good, you can go do it. Maybe you've got 5 minutes-ish at the wall before anything happens. Ideally, it's going to be like writing your signature where, there's something that can come out of your hand that you've done the repetitions, the shapes, you lean into what's natural to you. But if we're having a jam, which is, we maybe meet up at like 10, 11 in the morning, buy our paint, we get down, food, drinks, we're chilling, there's music on, there's, a legal spot or something like that. You might some people will spend all day, 5, 6, 7 hours, I'll maybe take 5 hours, but I definitely have a sketch and think about my color scheme. And then, you sketch out. My sketches are really loose these days. I don't bother coloring it in and really rendering it. So it'll be just basic kind of shapes, go to the wall, outline that, and then kind of work from the back forwards.
Yeah.
And when I talk to people about spray painting, when people have trepidations in a workshop or whatever, I always say it's really forgiving. You're just going to paint over it if you go wrong. It's not like other drawing where you go kind of from the top downwards. Do you know what I mean? You come from the back to the front.
Yeah.
If you go wrong, you just paint over it and do it again. It dries quick and, so yeah, it's kind of like that. But then we were quite siloed. When I started doing graffiti, I was maybe 12 or 13. And we didn't have the internet or YouTube how we do now. So me and a couple of my friends, we learned our way. And it's only when you link up with other guys and they kind of reach the same end product with us. Sure, it's the same with food, right? For a slightly different route, or there's new methods. I'm hearing about freeze drying cauliflower so you can just chuck it in the fryer and stuff. And I think there's ways to skin a cat, you know.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. Like, I'm nowhere near the most accomplished guy. If there's 100 of us painting, I'm probably not top 50. And there's guys who... Like one of my friends who's a painter, he's a carpenter, so he's used to working with his hands. And whenever we're like, say we're renovating a nightclub and doing some spray can art that goes up the stairs or whatever, he's wicked to be on site with because we're putting gaffer tape up and he works and he gets it done. He's used to like being on a building site and having that pace, and he paints like that, and it's so inspiring. Like when I'm painting with him, I'm such a tinkerer, and I stand back and I look and I think, and I'll take a little sip of my Rubicon that I brought down or what, it gets like that. Whereas he's like a workman, and he just leans into what works for him, and it's so inspiring. So some dudes who just, that's why Bring the Paint's interesting. For a layman who you watch someone, you're like, wow, this guy from Miami is just blasting this thing up, and it looks just how it's meant to look.
Well, that's the thing is, I think the thing that blows my mind, certainly about street art, certainly things like Bring the Paint, is the scale of it.
It's nuts.
Like the fucking on the cherry picker going down his thing, and they're looking on the phone. What's the guy? Mr. Murals. I watch him do stuff, and he's like marking it out, and he's doing like the
so that's
Peaky
what I was going to
Blinders
ask.
stuff.
I remember
that.
And he's just like little numbers. And
Do you know what that is?
No.
It's called a scatter grid. There's a few different names for it, but it's fascinating. I've never used one, and I think it's mainly for like photorealism kind of stuff, rather than like my thing might be cartoon and small bits kind of built up. But it's really interesting. So what you do is you'd have your detailed sketch, right? So I'll draw a nice picture of you two boys sat here looking.
When you're ready.
Right.
Just draw it
here. And then what you'll do is you've got your sketch of that, so you'll overlay, you've got the wall, you do your grid with all your numbers and your little symbols and stuff, and then on your iPad or computer or whatever, you'd overlay your sketch over that grid. So do you know, like when you're a kid and you've got the little...
is that just like the nose will be in this kind of square here?
But it's weird because it's not in a grid.
No, right. Well, they'll
numbers.
impose the grid on their sketch, right? So it's just all different random symbols and shapes. Then on their sketch, they'll drop a grid over the top. So inside one little square, you might have the bottom of an A, half of that number 1, part of a smiley face, and right, that's about where his nose is, and I'm going to put the edge of his lip next to that. That's where it gets darker. I need the purple. And they build it up like that, Okay. But I mean, I remember being like 17, and there was this live illustration event that was in Softbeck, a bar in Leicester. It was like a daytime event, DJs, music, whatever. And I had to draw on a wall maybe like this size or whatever. I remember thinking like, how? I draw on A4 paper.
Yeah.
The
fuck am I going to scale it?
Do this?
And it wasn't the best, but you get it done. And then you see these people up, these cherry pickers who just paint like completely perfect scale, photorealistic 100-foot mural. You're like, it's another stratosphere, isn't it? How do you get to that?
It is. It really does blow your mind.
Fascinating. Shall I start doodling then whilst we chat?
Should.
I'm just going to draw whatever. Is that all right, boys? Yeah. Love it. All right.
If you could upcycle any current commercial high street artist, what would it be? So I think actually he's talking about like Doug Hyde there. Like if you could overlap them on someone like that, who would it be?
Who would it be? I'm trying to think. So someone who I like, who will like maybe get inspired by their stuff, or like go as in literally go with someone
if
like
you could pimp up or upcycle any current commercial high street artists.
What would it be?
Do you even know of anyone?
I'm sure, yeah, but I'm just thinking.
Sometimes hard, isn't it? You don't know.
It's tough. Like a lot of the artists that spring to mind are like old comic book artists, but then I don't think it'd be a nice synergy between our two styles. Maybe like, what would be cool would be like.
I know a good one.
What?
You should get like a Monet. Do you know the one that's in the lake? And he could have like a
like that,
monster.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Like a classic kind of scenic landscape painting. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of replicating classic art with your monsters?
I've got
like the Scream picture with your monster kind of thing.
I did one thing for it was a little zine I did called Monsters in Real Life, and one of them was like sat painting a canvas with their, what's that thing called? A palette.
Easel, yeah.
And the easel. And
the artist is like, what's that thing called?
I'm more of a Sharpie man. I'm not messing around with that stuff. But yeah, and then the thing they were painting was like a Mona Lisa, but with a monster face and whatever. So yeah, maybe it'd be a good idea. I kind of like parody, but then it's hard to find a nice space in it. I think there's people who, someone dies, a celebrity dies, and illustrators are fucking rushing out to get their pen out and draw Paddington Bear with the Queen going off to heaven and make sure that they write their little Instagram out at the bottom. I think it's so fucking tasteless. And so I think with that, if I was knocking out prints of like Bart Simpson wearing Nike Air Max, I reckon I could get a lot more sales, but I don't want to be that lowbrow with it. I think maybe there's some integrity in something like that. That'd be kind of cool to like depict classic paintings or like draw someone swimming in a lake or whatever. That'd be a cool way to do it.
Has anyone got any of your artwork as a tattoo?
Yeah, a couple of the little monsters. So, I've got a print for you guys. You were saying bring something to the set, right?
Yeah.
I brought a. Shall I grab it now?
Thank you.
Grab this.
Sounds awesome. Look, he's already drawing on
Yeah, I got a monster.
Oh, look at that.
This is for you, boys.
Oh, my goodness.
So something to stick up.
Oh, that's wicked.
But
See, folks, this is the kind of stuff he does.
Yeah, there we go. After all this waffle about graffiti and whatever lark.
Monsters, see?
Yeah, right.
They're not scary monsters.
No,
They're lovely monsters.
yeah.
All monsters.
But yeah, the little blue dude in the bottom left. What were we just talking about? I can't remember what we were saying just before I went to grab that. What made me think of it? That's bad, isn't it?
It's what happens.
Oh my god.
It's what happens. Rewind the tape.
Yeah, I can't remember what we were saying. But yeah, this the blue dude. That's a little main man.
Do you have names for them?
Well, I had to have a name for that one because when there was this art tour, some rocket round Leicester, like these painted rocket sculptures. And I wanted to apply to go do one and have it painted and like sit in the middle of the city centre. So I needed
there is a rocket, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah. It was a cool project, man. It was good fun. But the guy in the bottom left, he's Bog Swamp because I needed to come up with a name for him for like the pitch or whatever. But yeah, not. You know, I do these.
This could actually really lend itself to like a cartoon kind of book,
100%. Yeah,
you know
yeah.
Just.
Do you know what? When I was one of my final major projects at university was to illustrate a kid's book, right? So I made this whole story and whatever, illustrated the whole book, and I came second. Oh. And if you came first, it went into publication.
You should definitely do it.
100%.
That would just be wicked.
You know what it is? It's just a saturated market. It's like you need to find an unticked box. Like, cool, I could make a kid's book and it'd be great fun and I'd enjoy doing it.
Yeah, but why don't you have monsters that instead of talking, they have different pitched farts? No one's done that before.
Do you reckon? Yeah, right. That's the way. That's the route.
The monsters, aren't they? They don't communicate with words. They communicate with farts.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe that's the winner. Maybe that's the way to $1 million.
My kids are good at making fart noises these days. They've been practicing them.
How old are the kids?
12, 10 and 8.
12, 10 and 8.
Twin girls at 8. So.
Fun ages.
Yeah. And you know, on each monster, do you have like a signature thing that they all have or anything like that? Or
it's tough. You know what's really annoying is I look at the earlier ones when I was first figuring out. I wanted these like what's the word? Androgynous. Just like non-human characters that I could shape and use for a craft beer thing years down the line or whatever. And so I started like drawing these guys and they were just on like ink blobs that were on the paper and that had given them their shape. You know, it's fun. But then now they look a lot more, they're like kind of reached a similar endpoint. You know, the dudes that look like this guy, the blue one in the bottom left. So I realize this is not great for an audio format, is it, referring to like the A3? Being like, oh yeah, this guy in the bottom left or whatever.
Well, it's on video as well, so
perfect.
Now you have to go and subscribe on the YouTube channel also, folks.
Oh, 100%.
So there's always time for a call to action.
Can I shout out my YouTube channel for you?
Yeah.
Right. Like I said, we're drawing, we're eating food. Camera, this is my camera here.
Go for it.
I just want to shout out because this is the thing. Like I said, I thought it's never gonna have a bunch of followers and churn money on its own. But I thought if I could meet clients and find clients who might need illustration work or design work or whatever, then. And even people who just enjoy art and want to see the process, or maybe they're going somewhere and they want to see a travel vid. So the series is called Drawing and Exploring, and the YouTube channel is, I think it's Drawing and Exploring, all one word. Or if you search Sam Grubb on YouTube, you're going to see it's going to pop up. But go like and subscribe, guys. We need all the help we can get. It's a slog.
Right, on there, we're going to pause. And like magic, we're back. Sam's he just keeps going and we love it. And I've been in the kitchen making a hash brown for him to try. So this is
what we got.
A new version of the loaded hash brown that may or may not hit the menu. But this is steak tartare. So we have gherkin, caper berries, tomato, mustard mayo, chives, salt, pepper, and beautifully cooked steak on top of a hash brown.
Can we just go through that again? I want to give that my complete full attention.
Okay.
Ingredient by ingredient.
Tom from Mount Sorrel has cooked today.
What's this, MasterChef? Go a little closer to the microphone. Give me that breath.
Tom has cooked it.
Oh my Lord.
Do you really want it?
I shouldn't encourage him.
Do you? Yeah, you shouldn't. I need no encouragement. So we've got hash brown. We've got, it's water bath steak, so it's perfectly cooked. Seasoned up, salt, pepper, gherkin, caper berry, tomato.
Talking my language.
Mustard mayo, crispy onion.
Oh my Lord.
Chives.
And am I just inhaling this? What are we doing?
Well, we're going to share it a little bit.
Sure.
We're digging.
Sure
but you have first dibs.
And is this something you're doing with each podcast guest? You're making a different kind of hash brown?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
We felt like we need to show off a little bit more flair of what we can do. Yeah. We're taking it in turns. And
that's so cool. Can I bring this plate closer?
Of course you can.
I'm really excited for this. You know what as well? You didn't ask me if there's anything I don't like or dietary requirements, and steak is like, we like steak. Yeah, right. Okay.
It's not Mowgli.
Are we getting that crunch, Adam? Is that because that hash brown is just crispy? Is that any old hash brown there? It's a rustic hash brown.
It's
a rustic hash brown.
Not any old.
Yeah. Is that your shop bought? Of course not. This is a rustic hash brown.
Nice and close into the mic when you take that first bite.
What, chewing? Is that what you want to hear?
Big mouthful.
All right. Are you ready?
Right in.
Oh, yeah.
It's really weird, isn't it? It's really weird. Just zoom in.
Do you know that bit?
Sam, 36 from Leicester.
Yeah. Do you know the bit in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when your man there just starts ascending? Do you know what I'm talking about? In a world of pure imagination. That's me when I'm eating a hash brown. I'm going again, boys.
Go for it.
Right?
Go for it.
You eat a whole one, or all of it if you want, mate. We can make more later.
I literally could just, I could go through that.
Plow
That is
through
good
it.
dinner.
Plow through it.
It's a good dinner, man.
Yeah,
we know what they taste like.
Yeah.
We can look at it and see.
So we decided to
So good.
kind of, for the first year, the hash brown was just a compliment to the full English. And it got more and more popular. Then we put it on the side order, and they got more and more popular, more and more popular. Now we're doing loaded hash brown as well for another side order. So we're just trying to elevate and make the most of this product that we've made,
That's so good.
and everyone loves.
See, I'm the sort of guy I probably do your breakfast and then the hash browns loaded on the side as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of people do.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Plenty of people do.
Look at this little cross section. Done that before. Look at this.
Just get in there.
So good. So tell me, this is tough because I'm asking you guys a question when you've got your mouths full. What's some of the other flavours that you've done? Is this new for season 2?
Yes. So this is a new feature. if you
Okay,
will.
cool. Yeah. I like that. I got one of the early ones rather than like the 50th hash brown where you got to figure it out. We're doing dairy
keep
milk
going.
and
Well, I mean, I just ready steady cooked on this morning, but
right.
We pre-planned them. So we have done in the past. We've done andouille mayo. That's really good. The last episode was parmesan.
Yeah, I've got-
Parmesan.
Truffled mayo, chive, and parmesan.
Wow.
We've done a Reuben.
Oh, yeah, the Reuben one is good.
Reuben
it's like
one.
a Big Mac, basically, isn't it?
Reuben. Reuben. What we're
So
talking.
Reubens are like our signature toasty.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, nice.
Cured beef, salt beef.
Is it Reuben's like a salt beef sandwich,
Salt
right?
beef,
Yeah.
sauerkraut, gherkin,
Cool, yeah.
Russian dressing, French's mustard. We've done a Big Mac one where it was gherkin, pickled red onions, Big Mac burger sauce,
Fantastic. A little bit of the pickle piss in the sauce.
gherkin, ogle
Industry
shield,
term.
Yeah, ogle
ogle shield,
that really
blow
makes it.
torched over the top.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh man, not a bad life, is it?
We've
And
done
you
a few.
guys get to taste every round.
Yeah.
Nice. So you just make your own podcast,
Yeah.
bring people like me and have a gab, and then just eat the hash browns.
Life is
Not a bad life, is it? Eh?
Pretty much,
Got
yeah.
it sussed, yeah. Not bad, boys. I
Life is
see it's a good business plan. We're just going to eat hash browns. We're just going to make a Big Mac hash brown and just eat it. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Everyone's going wicked.
And we're just going to chat to cool people.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Sam.
yeah.
It's the hash brown glory. It's
I
what's
love
the
it,
story
yeah.
in the hash
That's-
brown glory.
You know,
yeah.
that's a cool thing because I'll be honest. Have I just had hash brown on my lip this whole time? By the way,
I don't think
okay,
so.
cool.
I'd have told you, darling.
Thank you. I hope so as well. I'm thinking that's a bad look. But yeah, when I found out about you guys and knew what you did, that's the first thing someone said to me. They were like, the hash brown is the best one you're going to taste.
Yeah.
And,
They'd be right.
Yeah, right. And then the podcast started making sense and now we're here eating hash browns. I'm like, okay, but that's something. I could eat like 6 of them in a row, I think, and then maybe half an hour break and then back to them.
They are moreish.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
you
great. Yeah,
they
yeah,
do
yeah.
want more. It's not strange to have like 2 on a
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
dish.
Yeah.
for sure.
Fantastic.
The steak and eggs doesn't come with hash brown on purpose, but it absolutely marries well.
Yeah.
You know that you need the hash brown there. So
How do you make a hash brown? I can cook. I'm all right. I'm not bad, but I've never made a hash brown.
cook potatoes slowly
Yeah.
and then form them back with butter and spices and
And
Our secret blend.
what's the carbohydrate stick?
Yeah, so
Stick.
we
are
have
you,
a
are you
couple
cooking a
of,
potato whole?
You take
or?
the starch out, put the starch back in. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Right.
so
okay.
we do 2 different types of cut. So we do like a rough, irregular cut of potato, and then we do a grate.
Right.
So you still get that texture through the hash brown, and then we cook them down in butter.
Nice.
And then when the potatoes cooked, we basically drain them off, drain the butter off, and then mix through a load of spices and seasonings and
a lot of love,
so
a lot of time, and
it does take time.
Paying in. Well, you can tell, boys, that it's the best hash brown I've had in my life. I'll go that far. How about
Get
that?
in there.
And I'm sure I'm not the first or last person to say that in these 4 walls. So stick that one up. Go to press.
Go to press. Best hash brown I've ever had. Graffiti it on the wall.
Some artist.
Graffiti on the wall. Best hash brown ever.
Yeah, right. No, but I've never made a hash brown. That's one thing I'm enjoying about traveling. Trying to like use local produce and learn some new local dishes and stuff.
Yeah, are you eating out a lot, or you you're not really cooking for
street
yourself,
food
are you?
places.
A bit of both. Depends where I am. So like, when I first went away, I went to Turkey. That was the first country. I came back with yellow teeth and a bowl patch. So people, but they all had jokes to make, but never got the hair or the teeth done. It was really funny. 9 out of 10 people would say, you've not got your hair done. And then 1 in 10 people would say, you've not had your teeth done. And I'm like, you cheeky bastard. It just prick up. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, went to Turkey and like, obviously I'm eating out. Do you know what I mean? The food is, it was fucking immense there. But then cooking a lot as well. Like the place I had a nice barbecue grill, and I'm watching how they're doing stuff, and I like to grill anyway, so I'm learning a few bits, but a bit of a mix. And like, it's not all just happy jolly on the days. There is definitely meal prep and days where I'm just sending emails and doing work stuff. So, but I like to cook, and it's nice. I think I like the produce more abroad rather than some of the stuff we're stuck with here. Some of the seasonal veg, maybe not my favourite stuff.
No.
But it's been wicked.
You can see you just go to France and you look in the supermarkets, and
it's
just
another level, isn't it?
It's just a different world, isn't it?
I can't wait. We're going in the summer, and I can't wait to get there and just be like, right,
I bet.
here's some beautiful
and like
carrots,
butter that costs half the price of ours, but it's like the best butter you've ever tasted.
So you can spread it liberally.
Yeah. Stick it on. Yeah. But when I was in Mexico, it was the food was really bad. And like, Mexican food's great, right? Everyone loves Mexican food, but I think there's a big distinction between Tex-Mexican food and Mexican food.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like if those guys are cooking a burrito, it's basically going to be their tacos just with a slightly different thing. It's going to be prepared in the same way, which is fun, amazing, great times. But 3 square meals a day, every day for 3 months gets a bit taxing, right? Yeah. So I'm still trying to like cook and maybe do some things I like, or things that, that I know are a bit leaner or, a bit healthy during the week or whatever. But it's hard. Like Mexican produce was hard. If you think how bad the produce is in America, and then imagine they're south of the border, cousin, it's just they ship all the shit down there. It can have whatever you want in it. I'm buying like meat from the supermarket that you wouldn't feed to a dog. Do you know what I mean? I'm not cooking it.
Yeah.
Chorizo sausage that comes in like a rubber sleeve, almost like a chub, like a dog chew thing. And then you pour it in the pan and you're making like eggs with this chorizo. It's just piss wet. It doesn't dry. It's wet. Really weird. It's like you can't, it's chorizo flavored slop.
Yeah.
So then when I've come back from Mexico a few months there, I was gagging for like sustenance, just fruit and vegetables, and to eat cucumber, like just a fresh watery cucumber with some salt on it or whatever. And so I went to Europe, spent some time in Europe kind of the middle of last year after Mexico, and it was great. But it's you guys would love it, going around, I'm sure you do when you travel or whatever, where you're going around and you're tasting different produce from different areas, and it's just blowing your fucking mind, flavors.
Italy's amazing for that.
Right.
It's just everything's so simple and fresh.
I'm sure as a chef as well, like Italy's, it's like less is more kind of cuisine, right?
100%.
Bit rich for me, like not my
favorite. Less is always
favorite.
more anyway in cooking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You can, get it down where you trim the fat and this does that job, or zero waste or whatever. I always think that's so cool when people do that. I'm lucky. My older sister she's an amazing cook. Like she can really hang. I'm sure if she cooked for you guys, you'd be like, yeah, this is nice food, even with your professional background. And she was always on line one. So when I moved out from home and I'm in that first flat and I'm cooking a lasagna for the first time or whatever it was, she was great just to pick her brains. How long do you do this for? What heat should I have that? So it's been good, but it's been a challenge. Like, I'm sure you guys have it where I don't know, you're in the Cotswolds with the kids and you're cooking because you're the chefy one, and you've got to work with an Airbnb kitchen where you don't know where anything is.
I take my own pan and knives now.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm thinking about.
Do you know what else I hate? In a caravan or a lodge or anything like that, they give you that glass chopping board.
Oh, the chopping board.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, what are you supposed to do with that?
What is that?
And you just go ding, ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding.
terrible. I was thinking about
bin.
buying a nice knife and flying with it. For me, it's the fucking chopping boards. They've got these in Airbnbs everywhere. It's like an Airbnb starter pack. They give you these 3 useless tiny chopping boards that just look good in the picture.
You could get the flat ones, the ones that literally like plastic.
Yeah, I should.
They're lightweight,
and
so
you bend them, put the stuff in a bin. Yeah,
Roll it up.
For traveling, that's a great idea. I'm going to buy some from the range today.
That's where it'll be.
That's a good idea because it is the chopping boards more than the knives. But you can't. No one puts a picture of the kitchen drawer on Airbnb listings. And with this lifestyle, it's cheaper to live in Airbnbs than it is in England and pay for electricity and petrol and these things. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just going to go do this. And oh man, it's like, blind date. It's like Cilla Black. Number 2, reveal yourself. And I'm opening the kitchen drawer, and it's like, is there going to be a knife in there that I can just use to fucking cook? When I was in Morocco for some time, and obviously you want to taste the food outside, but the kitchen was amazing. The digs were amazing. I was in some Riyadh. But the kitchen drawer was woeful. You've got like a grapefruit knife, 2 forks, a little tablespoon. That was it. So
there's a company called, I think it's Recon. I think that's a knife brand, Recon, and I think it's a Swiss brand.
Okay, yeah.
But you get a little Perry knife with a holder. So again, for travelling,
perfect.
It's like
what sort of weight are we talking?
Oh, it's this. It's just a Perry knife.
Yeah. Oh, pairing like as in a fruit pair. I thought you meant pairing.
Perry knife is a small.
Yeah, it's like a small
knife.
knife.
The smallest knife you've got in your house is a Perry knife. And yeah, you could get one of those on many other places. Hopefully you'll go to a nice independent cook shop and buy one.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And they've got little covers.
Perfect. This is what I need because it's definitely one of the things, and it's been an adjustment. Like I was saying, I'm not sure if it was before I think it was when we started recording. I said it's brand new to me. I've always lived in Leicester, so I don't know the first lick about what I need to pack to travel, but it's these kind of things I'm figuring out. And there's things that are, rather than everyone's got those, the little adapter that goes in the wall and you change your plug over to a European socket. I've just started taking out the 4-strip with a couple of little mini USB ports, a USB. Yeah, Adam, we're doing USB chat if you want to
pull up a chair.
But for me, with I've got the laptop, I've got the iPad, whatever, the GoPro, whatever. It's almost like it's a bit easier just to chuck that in. I can plug everything in. But like a nice little knife and some of those little thin plastic foldable chopping boards, they'd change my life in a lot of places.
A nice knife is just is worth its weight because it just starts you off on the right foot. Like your
100%.
onions just are reasonably regular. Not like fucking hell, the onions are bloody block.
And any time I cook myself, it's always with a blunt knife.
Oh,
slip off an onion or
Obviously,
obviously talking
it's forcing down as well.
For sure. That's what I try and tell my mum. My mum doesn't know what a sharp knife is. She thinks a big knife is a sharp knife. Yeah. Drives me insane. And I'm like, I always want to just buy her a new knife and be like, she's just going to fly through a potato with it and be like, all these years I was just using blunt knives.
My mum and dad still got knives from when I was in college.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have your old ones.
Yeah, I'll have your old ones.
Yeah. Do you systematically throw them away?
Yeah, I just kind of leave them there and then just...
Right, yeah, I'm trying to... I need to take one thing out of my mum's house every time I go there. Just get rid of those old tea towels. Where are those old tea towels? I need to buy some new ones. Like, they're gone. They're long gone. Forget about them. They're old news.
Right, Sam, we are conscious of time now.
Okay.
Do you want to bring out your quiz or your questions or whatever you have?
So on this prompt, when you guys said write some questions, you talked about who you are, what you do or whatever, because I've prepared a short quiz.
Yeah. That's fine.
Let's go for it.
All right, guys. I think our artwork on the table is done for now, as I'm going to put on my Quizmaster hat. A couple of little monsters.
Wicked.
Right. So there's 5 questions, okay? And they're all around kind of art and design and my sort of world.
Yeah.
Tried to keep them relatively gettable.
Yeah.
You are against each other.
Yes.
The grand prize is the rest of the hash brown. So
we got the trophy.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay. Hash brown henge trophy. The coveted hash brown henge trophy, right? Okay. So I don't know if you want to
ask about it.
I don't know how you want to do it. Do you want to like write your answers down and we come back at the end, or
just shout?
Okay, first
Whoever
one.
gets it right.
All right, cool. Like it. Okay. So question 1: in the popular American animated series The Simpsons, what are the names of the Tom and Jerry-esque cat and mouse duo?
Itchy and Scratchy.
Itchy and Scratchy. Point goes. Yeah, it's 1-0. It is.
I had to get that.
I didn't realise I was thinking for fastest finger first as well, so I've got to be on it. Be honest with each other. Don't trick me, okay? Right, question 2, graphic design question. To the nearest centimetre, how long is the long side of a piece of A4 paper? We've all enjoyed paper over the years.
Lee.
Tom.
Well, we can both do this. 24 centimetres.
Okay, 24.
I think it's 21.
Adam?
21 and a half?
It's 30 centimetres, 297
really?
millimetres. Yeah,
I think it's the short edge.
No, I said the long edge. Long edge there. 21's your short edge. Yeah.
I mean, at least I got it right, even though I got it wrong.
That's true, yeah, that is impressive. Yeah.
I didn't think it was 30 centimetres. I thought it was
It's
smaller
297 millimetres, yeah. You think a 30 centimetre ruler? Like in school, 12-inch ruler.
Don't ask Lee to measure anything. He gets the fucking rolling pin
I'll get a rolling pin out and measure it. I'll be like,
there you go.
Space
2 rolling
awareness,
pins, 3
nice
rolling
strong
pins. Right, question 3. As discussed, I spend a lot of time making videos for YouTube, making thumbnails. Which year did YouTube launch? Again, you can both, I guess.
I'm going to say 94.
94.
2003.
It's you, yeah. You've won. It's 2005, so you went far off, but yeah, a little after.
I went really
94.
early, just because it might have
thinking,
just been like ticking around.
I think like Amazon, right? Amazon's super old,
Yeah,
and now it just is what it is.
Yeah. I remember Amazon. Yeah, it's a boring conversation. Let's go.
What, the bookstore?
No, let's carry on.
Okay,
It's a crap story that I'm just
you
telling
remember
all the time.
Amazon?
Yeah,
They're
I remember
only
Amazon.
great,
I remember Amazon when
I
I
used
was
to
a
love
kid.
remembering Amazon.
It is really old.
Yeah. Oh, that old, really?
Well, that's what I thought.
4 years in it, dickhead.
Right, question 4. A big part of my life is graffiti and spray can art. What I want to know is how, a lot of number-based questions here, how many milliliters of paint are in a standard 16 centimeter spray can? So a normal size spray can that you're thinking of, how many milliliters of paint? I'm thinking measurements, kitchens, you guys might be hot on this. You know about your milliliters, sorry.
I think it's 950.
950.
750.
It's a lot less. It's 400. So yeah, you take the points. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, yeah. I was
Like
surprised.
it's
when
pressurized.
Yeah, I think that's
That's
it.
it,
Yeah,
Full of
yeah.
air, basically.
yeah. I was thinking, I was picturing it. I was like, yeah, I think it's 400. And I was like, let me check because that seems not a lot. But then I think it's not full
Not
to
much
the brim,
more
is
than
it?
the can of
Yeah,
juice,
it's not
but
going to
then
be,
it's
is
got
it?
the air pressure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right. Well, we're living
I can
and learning,
accept
ain't we?
that answer.
Yeah, right. Fair.
I can accept that I'm wrong.
Right, last question then. What are you keeping an eye on the scores? I think you're up, right? You're getting dusted here. You got to sort it.
If it was closest, then Lee. So he's
Right. Well,
3-1.
what we'll say is this is
One.
for this last question. It's 10 points, so it all hinges on this, guys.
The jeopardy has arrived.
Yeah. My heart is
Next
beating
goal
out my
wins.
chest. I can't imagine how you guys feel. You know, it's you've reached this pinnacle.
Next
and you
goal
both
wins. Next goal
yeah,
wins.
right. You've
Come
both
on.
done great. You've both done great. So for the car, the holiday, and the spending money, okay?
What about the speedboat?
Speedboats
And the
in there.
cuddly toy.
Yeah. Right, okay. So colour for print is made up of 4 colours, right? Cyan, magenta, yellow and black. That's commonly referred to as CMYK. Which 3-letter acronym is used to define colour for screen? So colour for print is made up of 4 colours: cyan, magenta, yellow and black, CMYK.
Can I phone a friend?
No, you can't. You can't. Adam, the producer, waving his hand about.
I know it. I know it.
Do you know
no
it?
idea.
Yes.
Say your name.
Tom.
What's the answer?
name.
Hex.
No, it's not hex.
Oh, fuck.
A 3. Close. Yeah, damn, that's a good answer. You're in the right realm, but no. Sadly, it's
I
not.
have no idea.
Really?
ARC.
Shall we go? Shall I give you a clue, or shall we go over to Adam?
Go over to Adam.
Go over to Adam, and if he gets it, then he can't dress like that anymore.
Doesn't sound like much of a prize, does it? What's the correct answer, Adam?
RGB.
It is in fact RGB, red, green. You think when you get close to the TV when you were a kid and it's just that little red, green and blue. Bit anticlimactic. I was hoping one of you would just know that on a whim and be like,
I
oh,
kind of
no
knew the hex.
idea.
What's the hex then? That's a colour thing.
yeah, hex is a color coding system. So you get like a 6-digit letter code. So D, like a Wi-Fi code. And if you enter that code anywhere, it's going to come up with royal blue or whatever that code is assigned to.
Okay.
You know where you've got the palette and you drag it between red
Yeah.
and blue. You know what I'm talking
It's
about.
basically the story of my life. I'm never completely right, but I'm not
Know
completely
something
wrong
in the
either.
area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You're
Yeah.
going
I
to
don't know everything, but know nothing.
You're going to get to like 70 years old and you're just going to round it out. You're going to know everything.
Can I have hash brown hens this week?
Yeah, you
I think
can.
you do, yeah. I think you win it.
Yeah,
Well
you
done.
can. You
Well
get
done,
10,
Adam.
10
No,
free
uh,
one.
answer.
Yeah, right.
Sam, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you? Where does Howard go to get his garage door done? Talk to the camera. I mean, you've done your YouTube channel. But
Yeah, of
say
course,
what you
yeah,
like,
yeah.
mate. This is the time is yours.
No, yeah. Well, thanks for having me. Firstly, it's been
thank
good fun. I
you.
knew it'd be a
It's
good
been an
laugh
absolute
anyway,
treat.
and I was enjoying listening to the other episodes. But yeah, wicked one. But yeah, best place is the Instagram. So go to Sam Grubb Art, SAMGRUBB Art. Follow me there. Obviously, visual stuff is going to be there. And then the YouTube, you can search Sam Grubb online. It's going to come up with my website or the YouTube. And the series is called Drawing and Exploring. So if you listened and you've enjoyed the podcast and you want to see more, hopefully click that follow or subscribe on YouTube because I need it. It's a slog. There's days I'm out doing this GoPro stuff, editing video all hours, and you're getting 100 views. And you think, guys, come on, help me, please, come on. So
Well, that's
yeah,
what this is about. It's about platforms.
that's
for
it.
people
Yeah, go to
stream
the
as well,
YouTube.
so,
Yeah, and it's forever media. It's like this stuff. It's not going anywhere, right? So
No.
people can enjoy it down the line. But yeah, the YouTube is Drawing and Exploring, and yeah, Sam Grubb Art on the Instagram.
Thank you. Do you know that when Lee and I first were talking about getting you in, I thought your name was Sam Grubbard.
A lot of people do. Yeah, a lot of people do.
And he was like, Sam Grubb. I was like, Sam Grubbard? He's
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
Sam Grubb Art. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, it makes sense
So when, you know, back in the day with Instagram, when you had the old app icon, right, you could capitalize your username. So it was Sam, capital S, capital G, art. And then it just went, whoop, changed one day. And yeah, I meet people all the time. They're like, oh, Sam Grubb art, aren't you? And I'm like, no. So, you know.
Sam Grubb.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, boys. It's been fun.